Welcome back to the first full week at the HHA in who knows how long. We're so excited to get back into the groove of things. Today is Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan, or as they say, Mar Cheshvan. Mar means sour, and a sour month. And why do they say it's a sour month? Because not really any holiday is happening in the month of Cheshvan, which is kind of sad. We just came off a quite spiritual month filled with lots and lots of holiday from the month of Tishrei. We had Rosh Hashanah, we had Yom Kippur, we had Sukkot, we had Shmini Atzer, we had Simchat Torah. So many beautiful holidays. We got to spend a lot of time with family, and of course away from school. And the beautiful thing about Tishrei is that it kind of builds us up for the rest of the year. And what do we do with the month of Mar Cheshvan, sour month of Cheshvan? How do we go from there? How do we take the next step, leaving the month of Tishrei and going to a month really with no holidays, really to try and help us connect to God in some way? So how do we do it? So the holidays that happen during Tishrei really are supposed to build us up. So when we walk into Cheshvan, that we have all that beautiful spirituality, all that connection, all that unity that we had and time that we spent with our family, and we wrap it up and we put those gifts into our pocket. And now is the opportunity that we stand up and that we use those wonderful gifts and take those holidays that we had from the past month and help us build up for the next month moving forward. Now, if you take Mar and switch the letters around, it spells out Ram, and Ram means great, or sets the tone for the year. And that's what Cheshvan is all about, that you have that opportunity to take it and turn it around from Mar to Ram, to change it into greatness for this coming month, and so forth. As well, this week's Parsha is Parshat Noach, and we know the beautiful story of Noah and the Ark. And there are two different generations in this week's Parsha that tried to not only rebel, but did such bad things that they almost destroyed. For instance, of course, we know the story of Noah, where the world was basically destroyed, and only Noah and his family were the only survivors along with the animals. But there's another story at the end of the Parsha, where there was a tower built where people were trying to rebel against God. So they built this tower together and tried to build it as high as they can. They thought by building this tower they can fight and wage a war on God. So if you look at the results, so think about the story of Noah, why the world was destroyed. People were not nice to one another. People were thieves and stealing from one another. And look at the story of the Tower of Babel. And what happened? What was the result? The world was destroyed for when people were stealing from one another, not being nice. And the other generation, which were trying to build a tower, were just scattered. So you'd think, if people wage war against God, they'd be destroyed. But they weren't. Why not? Why such different punishments? And why not a worse punishment for building a tower rebelling against God? So if you're thinking about it this way, as a parent, when you see your children, your beautiful children, all their cuteness and all their wonderful things that they do, but when they do things together, it makes you smile, it gives you nachat, it gives you excitement, even if it's not the best thing in the world, but when they work together, it brings you a lot of happiness. And here when we talk about the story of Noach, and what happened is that people were not nice to one another, people were doing bad things to each other, and that's why God was so upset with his children, that they were not taking care of one another. But in the story of Babel, even though they did not such a nice thing trying to rebel against God, but they did it together, which is trying to teach us when you're united and you work together, your parents love it when you work together. Not for the bad things really, but when you work together to do beautiful things together, your parents really get lots of nachat. And God is like another one of our parents, and when he sees us taking care of one another, treating each other with love and kindness, he really smiles and it makes him really, really happy. So continue doing beautiful and kind things to one another, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we continue to have a world with peace and kindness to one another, and people work together and respect one another. Have a wonderful Shabbat.